Check, my check. Give y'all a second to come through. Just gonna chill out for a minute. Smoke this L. Let everyone get up in the building. We gonna talk. Got a lot to talk about. I just got a lot of bullshit in my studio right now, so I don't want to. So I'll just do it from my car. Who we got up in the building? Hey, yo, smash that like button. My brother, Skinny Too Litty, what's up? Check. All right, we still up in here. All right. How does that sound? Hey, let me know how the sound is, guys. I feel like there's a lot of noise in the background or something. What's up, everyone? Healer, aka the Iron Lion. Salute to the chat. Salute to the LDBC. Salute to the family back home. One second, y'all. It's your host, Healer, aka the Iron Lion. So, as I've expressed many times on this channel, I am a Maroon. I am of Maroon descent. My patrilineage is Maroon. From Accompong town. All the way back to King Kojo and his father, Prince Nakwan. Well, King Nakwan, rather. But it's just kind of a moniker, Prince Nakwan. It's just a name. But essentially, the Maroons defeated the British. The Maroons of Jamaica defeated the British in 1738 to maintain their freedom and maintain their own lands. We can get into the treaty and all that stuff because there's a lot made about stuff that happened there, and there's a lot of people who say a lot of shit that they go on blackity this, black that, black, and then they believe everything a white man writes. It's crazy. But yeah, man, I might actually go inside the studio for this one. There we go. Turn this one off. But yeah, So long story short, the Maroons defeated the British, and to this day, Accompong town still stands. Now, Accompong is a town named after my forefather's brother. King Kojo had a brother named Accompong, which is named after Nyakempong. Nyakempong, or excuse me, Yankipong Kwame. Yankipong Kwame is the great god of Saturday, which is the Akan god. The god, how you say god in Akan language, or Twi language. So, obviously, my people come from Ghana. But Kojo and Accompong would be the ones born in Jamaica. Right? Now, I'd always known that I was a Maroon since I was a kid. Every Jamaican learns about Nanny of the Maroons and all the fantastic things that she did with the Maroons. Right? But Jamaican history in regards to the Maroons is not as in-depth as Maroon history. But as a child, I always understood that there was the Jamaicans of the mountain and the Jamaicans of the valley, or the plains. The Jamaicans of the plains, to me, had always come off as if they really enjoyed trying to be like the oppressor, whereas the Jamaicans in the mountains were more about who they actually are, not trying to be like their oppressor. Like in Jamaica, it's popular to bleach your skin. People do stuff like that. Like colorism is wild out there. A lot of black people are born into family with light skinned people and stuff like that, and there's always this some sort of social pressure, or rather, I can really get into that. But in Jamaica, the history of Jamaica is replete with laws that really shape the black mind to hate itself in Jamaica. Um, and to really aspire to be like the white. So I've always, as a child, my mother not being a Maroon, she had the perspective of you got to shave, you got to look presentable, and you still do. I agree with that, but like she worries for me because I have locks. Like, oh, people are gonna single you out. What? But I can't live my life trying to cut my hair to conform and be this thing that I am not, just so you people can like me and I can get ahead. It's not me. I'm a Maroon. So essentially, you have two societies in Jamaica. You have the Maroon Society and you have the traditional Jamaican society. And traditional Jamaican society is fairly mixed. It's mostly African, but then you have what it's called, like a little bit of Indian, a little bit of Chinese, and obviously some European. And the Maroon population is mostly African and Native, indigenous mix. But you do have some mixture in there because I'm mixed too. So I would actually be the definitive example of what a Jamaican is on a genetic level. Um, mostly black people, like 80% black people, some Chinese people, some Indian people, and some white. That's exactly my makeup. All right, who we got up in here? I can't see that. Oh, my comment section suck. What is this? Hold. Yeah, here we go. Salute, Mark. I was like, why can't I see the people in the chat? Salute to you, King. Skinny Too Litty. Yeah, Sean Benjamin. Salute. Um, so going back to it, right? Getting to the festival. I'm just talking about why I had to go to the festival, right? So the festival, what the festival is the celebration of the treaty. The Maroons are the indigenous people of Jamaica, And just like the indigenous people of Australia, they're black. They're a different type of black. Actually, more like brown, soft curl, loose curl kind of people. But when the Africans came pre-Columbus, with Columbus, and also with Spaniards and Europeans, they they made up what became the majority of the Maroons. Right now, with that, um, the treaty was on January 6th when the British surrendered. So before I get into like what the treaty is and all that stuff, I want to talk about the actual trip. So every January 6th for the past 284 years, hear me again, for the past 284 years, a group of black people that beat the British at war and made the British come to the table and say, all right, cool, we're going to leave you alone. And the rest of these people, we're enslaving them, but we're not going to fuck with you because, you're the man. They backed off. Right? So 284 years, the Maroons have been celebrating their freedom. Right? And like I said, I'll get into the whole stipulations of the treaty and whatnot because there's a lot made of it. But if people simply do their research, they'll understand. But it's propaganda. It's propaganda. And black people, it's amazing. It's amazing because black people will tell you how black people are the first to attack you, but then they'll turn around and do it. But then again, it's, man, it's the weirdest shit, man. Because a lot of people say bad things about Maroons as if they're not the heroes of the story. And they take things out of context. The white man's words, the loser's words. And these are the same fucking people who will sit there and talk about black this and black that. But they will take the white man's word about black history. Crazy to me, right? So my father never really spoke about Maroon lineage. And he had never said a word to me, which is amazing because it's not like we're just some Maroons. Understand, I'm gonna upload a video later, but when we arrive at when we arrived at the festival, at the gate, they charge you to get in, right? They charge you to get into the festival. Name drop. I've never been here before, bro. I just name drop. So there's this power in our name amongst the Maroons because it's a royal name. It's the same name Queen Nani had. It's the same name Kojo had. Angie Wise, salute Queen. You got to check out the video of the Maroon Festival. I think you would really love that. So, salute Queen. Now, my father he never told me anything about, like I said, Maroon heritage or anything like that. And it was my aunt that told me when I was a child that we were Maroons. And she said, never forget, no matter what, where you go, you're a Maroon. Right? We are Maroons. And I'm like Nanny of the Maroons? She's like, yeah, like Nanny of the Maroons. And I grew up and I kind of forgot. But once it came back to mind and I started researching, I told you people who think they know Maroon history started telling me things that infuriated me and almost made me ashamed to be a Maroon. But then I studied my history and I'd like to smack fire out these people with knowledge. But it was what's the word I'm looking for? I was behooved to go back home and get some answers because my people come from Accompong town, and my grandfather came down from Accompong Later in his life, before he died, he moved to the surrounding lowlands, and my father didn't grow up, or he didn't mention anything about him growing up as a Maroon. My aunt clearly did. They clearly went to Accompong many times, lived there, grew up there, but for the most part spent a great deal of time in the lowlands. I was obviously born in the capital. Now, again, my mom, not being Maroon, being more of a conformist traditionalist or something, just wants the best for her son to succeed in life and whatnot. I'm a mountain man. The soul of my ancestors is imprinted in the essence of the way of my ancestors is upon me. My mom once said to me, she thinks that I'm gonna run off and be a mountain man or something. Like I could get lost in the bushes. And I'm like, my father's a Maroon, right? And she's like, yeah, I had no idea, but that makes sense. You come from some freaking bush people. Truly, as the British called us, wild Negroes. So my grandfather was a medicine man from Accompong. He was a famous medicine man from Accompong, but he was known. It was said that people would come to our ancestral home, and they would come in with crutches and walk out. Canes, crutches. They come and they're walking out just fine after. Um, yeah, man. But he passed away because he was insistent on curing himself, like a typical mountain Jamaican man. But now I'm gonna doctor. I don't want a doctor. Yeah. He thought he could cure it himself, and it didn't work out. It's not like he couldn't. It's just it was too late at that point. He needed surgery, and yeah. So I felt the need to go back to Accompong and visit it to understand, right? So the festival seemed like the perfect time. The perfect time. Now, my father didn't really, like I said, he seems to not be interested in Maroon related things because of Jamaican propaganda. When I look at when the propaganda came out about Maroons, it was when he was a kid, when he was growing up. So to be a Maroon wasn't received that wasn't a popular time to be a Maroon because of propaganda, which the current chief is proving, excuse me, is disproving. It's proving to be false. So with that in mind, all right, festival time. So January 6th, as you can go and watch the video because I recorded the trip, but I'm gonna chop up the videos and just like make it more concise. But I decided to go there for the festival, but also to build a gym out there, to build a martial arts gym for the little ones. Um, I didn't get to record all the footage of me working with the kids because I was working with the kids, but I did get a round of me boxing with a little man. Um, I explored the town for a while and whatnot, but let me start out. First and foremost, get to the airport, get picked up, drive. I didn't go straight to Accompong because it's like really up in the mountains, like really up in the mountains. Um, but Jamaican roads are scary, like really scary, like fucking tiny roads, little itty bitty roads that like two people are going down. You're like, how? This looks like a one way road, man. And if you were mistaken, excuse me, if you're not used to it, you would think it's a one way road and just hog the whole road and start speeding. Then a guy will turn around the corner and you're done for. So the driving over there is crazy. I ain't ready for that. I ain't ready to wheel it there. But I stayed in the plains for a few days with family and whatchamacallit. Yeah, so I stayed in the plains for a couple of days with family. And the day of the festival, I went up there. Now to get to Accompong, it's from where I was. It wasn't a long drive. It was just scary, man. Like I said, you're going high up. You're going high up in the mountains on these winding roads, and you just at one point you just see nothing but just rich foliage, hilltops, mountains, and you're on this tiny little road. You guys will see the videos. You'll see the videos, but it's definitely awe-inspiring. And there's little towns built along the way. Um, but when you finally get up to Accompong, um, after twisting around the hill for a couple, um, we got to a gate where they had they it's basically to get into the town, and they asked Farnar or Maroon, and the driver he wasn't a Maroon, so they were about to charge him, and my aunt leans over, and she drops our last name, and he goes Aro, all right, and then he says he shouts out our name, and the gates open up. I'm like, oh shit, really? Of course, we still made a donation because I wanted to donate, like I wanted to pay to get in, but I had a meeting. I was supposed to have a meeting with the chief. Now, the chief, to the best of my understanding, is he's a relative, but a distant one. Um, whatchamacallit. He also has a line back to Kojo because there was a certain Maroon named, and I'll do a story on him. Chief Manro. Chief Manro. I thought he had 25 kids. He actually had, when I got there, I heard 37, but by the time I left, I found out that he had 59 children. 59 children. So, interesting fact, the women of Accompong, oh my God, the festival, beautiful. But guess what? That's all family. My aunt was like, yeah, be careful. This is all family. Like, everyone here's a cousin in one way, shape, or form. Ask them their name, go through lineages. You're like, oh yeah, that's all family. Mina family round. So mina family round is the quote. But whatchamacallit. So we get up to the town, and my aunt's like, yeah, basically try not to like freaking spend everything or like look too much like a tourist. Damn it. Oh, fuck. Drop my keys. Try not to look too much like a tourist, damn it. And I first went to the museum because the museum is where they have all the artwork and some of the artifacts. And much to my surprise, they didn't have the sword. There was this sword that I'd really like to know where that sword is. You guys know about Captain Morgan? Captain Henry Morgan is whatchamacallit. Henry Morgan, the bottle, the rum, Captain Morgan. So that dude has a sword. That sword that he has, my forefather owned it, Kojo. He took it from a British soldier. A high-ranking British soldier, had gotten it from after Morgan had died. Because Morgan, Captain Morgan, not only was he a buccaneer, which Buccaneers are synonymous with Maroons. From what I've studied, Buccaneers and Maroons are like tight friends. Maroons were not just stuck in the mountains. They were seafaring. Like, apparently, the Maroons were trading with Cuba the entire time. Right? They kept on ongoing trade with Cuba, and they traveled with French Buccaneers all the time. But Captain Morgan had become the what do you call it? The governor of Jamaica. Yeah, the pirate became a governor of Jamaica, and he had that sword. And when he had passed away, or before he had passed away, he had given it to somebody like somebody who was under him, and whatever. His sword ended up in the possession of the leading party sent after the Maroons, or at least one of the swords that Morgan used ended up in the possession of a party that came after the Maroons. The specific dude's name was Harris. was like a captain. I might be wrong. Captain Harris, I think his name is. Um, no, that's Harrison Dunbar. Um, I I think it might have been Harris. There might have been two Harris, but he became the first white dude to live with the Maroons during the Maroon War. During the Maroon War, he was the first white guy to live with the Maroons because when he had surrendered, no, it wasn't him. It was another. I think he got murked. He might have ended up getting murked. Those two, yeah, whatever. It was in a battle with the Maroons and the British. When the British lost, they got captured, and when they got captured, um, they were brought before Cudjoe, and one of the British captains that had the sword, he presented it as an offering. He got on his knee because he thought he was going to be executed or something. He made it as an offering, and Cudjoe was like, he was like, yo, this is Morgan's sword, and he's like, Morgan, the governor of Jamaica, yeah, I know who he is. Um, or they wanted the sword off of him, something, whatever. He's like, this belonged to Morgan, and Cudjoe was like, I can't just take the man's sword because I heard about the cat. Um, it was, I think there might have been interaction between Cudjoe's father and him, but it was where Cudjoe knew of him and had respected Morgan. He's like, I just don't want to take the man's sword, even though I just whooped your ass. But he's like, yo, Morgan's been dead for a minute, so I got it, and you can have it. Thanks for sparing my life. Yeah, Cudjoe hadn't killed him. He spared them and he let them live with Maroons. It was like 4 white dudes in total. 2 of them did get murked though. Afterwards, killed by a man named I forgot his name. Belembo, a Maroon named Belembo. Belembo, right? So I was surprised that the sword was not there because I'd seen it in pictures in the museum, but it looked like they took it out. But one of the best things in there in the museum was the bang, not the bangs. Yeah, no, there was a bangs. Bangs are the horns, which is a symbol of Maroon warfare, but also a symbol of. It's a similar to a Hebrew shofar. Moses and Joshua in the wilderness, the shofar, the horn, right? So you find there's a rifle in there, like an old British rifle that was on Earth and whatnot. Um, and a couple like weapons and things, but not as much as I would have hoped. The artwork though, the artwork is beautiful. That's something you got to go there for. But that's the museum. I came a little late, and I missed the tour through the village. The tour through the tour is they basically dance from one part. They march from one part to another, and they go through all the sacred sites. Um, and they sing, they play drums, and they just march through the town, right? And drink and smoke. They smoke. Yeah, some people smoke in but for the most part, they'll dress as leaves. They'll have a leaf outfit on, just like this gentleman right here, right? Usually, no one is fully dressed in camo like that, and this is the original camo. That's why some people will actually wear camo, which is basically a symbol of the Maroons' victory over the British, right? Now, in truth, from my personal belief, which was also the belief of several of our chiefs, um, our victory over the British was pretty much the Most High God was at work, and the British knew that. They knew that very well, that the Most High God was preserving a group of his people for himself in the mountains. And the British themselves witnessed the miracles that happened in those mountains. Read their archives. For people who want to say dog shit like, ha, the Maroons sold slaves. It's in the archives. Well, the archives also said that my foremother caught bullets with her asshole and shot it back at you. You cannot be selective in what you believe. If you believe the British archives, then you believe that human beings can catch bullets with their assholes and shoot them back at people. I'm just saying. Right? So then you believe that slaves can turn invisible and breathe fire. Then you have to believe all these things. So with that in mind, I had a bag of like boxing equipment that I brought with me. So I definitely look like a tourist because I had this giant bag that I'm just lugging around everywhere, right? And we pull up, and there's some people who, yeah, who thought I was a tourist, and I guess they were, they're trying to get a tourist real quick. Um, and my aunt is like, move on away. She's like, just use your name, and I didn't. But later on, somebody came up to me, he's like, why don't you just tell me that you're a Ro? It's like, I thought you were just a tourist, bro. You should, and they thought that the stuff that I had in my bag was like touring stuff, was like clothes, but it was all the boxing equipment that I brought to help build the gym. So you should have told me you came to help. But I liked spending extra money there. I liked the tourist prices because I want to support the community. You know what I mean? So could get the royal treatment, but nah, I decided not to. I'm here to help. So the feeling over there, number one, it's a mountain town feeling, man. Like it's very tranquil. Everyone there's pretty happy. The sun is shining. It's so beautiful. You can see it. You can see it in the videos, man. It's so freaking beautiful. Of course, during like when you have a lot of tourists in the festival, like there's a little bit of littering and whatnot. But we always spend time cleaning that up, or they, because that's my first time being there. Bangkok to Kingston. What's going on, Rich Ray Chowder? You just came from Bangkok and now you're in Kingston. Is that what you're saying? So anyway, um, one of the first. So the festival. They're doing the march, and this is a march that's done. This is the 284th time, the 84th year that this has been done. Right now, I missed the march, which my aunt wanted me to see, but they're going through all the different sites. The Kinda Tree, which is where the general Kojo Accompong, all the Maroon chiefs sat and planned and strategized for their war. My cousin said, "I be worried, man. I'm worried." I think that's what I'm gonna call our march. Oh, I forgot to. Oh man, I didn't get to talk to the chief about the fighting styles and whatnot. But whatever. Worried. Said, man, I'm worried. I'm worried, man. So yeah. Now the Kinda tree. Kinda means one family, and there was many different tribes that made up the Maroons. Like there was not really just one group of people were the Maroons. No, it was like a bunch of different tribes, and they came together and made one family under that tree. So the tree is called Kinda tree. There's Cudjo's grave. There's yeah, different grave sites. What you call it? I Old Town. Um, Different artifacts. There's a bunch of places to see. Um, but I didn't get to see the town. I didn't get to see all of it. I didn't get to see all of it on the tour with them. But I heard them coming back around, and it's when they came back, I joined up with them as they were coming to the front of the town, and that's when my video starts. Rich Ray says, tuning in, much respect, Focus. Appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in to listen to me, man, because I don't think people want to hear about this stuff. Rich Ray says, the history you are a part of is truly inspiring. Yes, sir. And I want to maintain that history. Or I want to maintain that in our present. It's not like the chief said, this is not where the Maroons used to live. This is where we live. I want to tell you guys that when I got there, I understood who I am. Because my soul is, The essence that's in that place, that's me. That place is created by a bunch of niggas that says, fuck you, I'm not doing nothing you say. Die. You want me to be your bitch? Fucking kill me. And then they held this ground and said, come here and you die. You come here, you better kill me if you want it. I got God by my side. And literally, some miracles happened in that mountain that kept us there. And the British know damn well that is why they signed a treaty with us. It's not so, they weren't fighting against just flesh and blood when they fought the Maroons. They were fighting against a spirit, the spirit of the Lord, in my opinion, no, factually, but by the events that I'll tell you later. And the British saw these things in their archives. That's what I'm saying. When people say they talk about the British archives, look, the archive says you traded slaves. The archives also tells you that some really phenomenal, almost super. Oh yeah, the archive says that when Nani came to the British after the treaty, she was like, they asked about the secrets of her powers, and she was like, yo, only the Most High can kill me. You can't do shit. And she stepped back, and a firing squad fired at her, and it did nothing to her. Then she pulled her pants down and bent over just to bring it home. And they shot her, and she caught it with her asshole and shot it back and said, no, God is doing this. That's why you can't beat us. And they know it. That is why, to this day, the Jamaican government can't fuck with the Maroons, because you are owned by the British, and the British is holding down that treaty. Because they know what's good. So I started moving through the town. I'm like, this is my spirit, because they're still here. You know, I want to bring a lot of modernizations to the town, but to be honest, it's like relatively untouched. It's like, this is how you live, bruh. I just wish that like there was more, like they got the water back, you know, and that they didn't see. The treaty kind of screwed us out of land that would put us closer to the coast. You get me? Which would benefit Maroons greatly, because closer to the coast, it'll open up trade for us. It'll open up trade. It'll open up, pretty much, it'll just solve a lot of problems, you know? But the treaty kind of boxed us in a sense, and then robbed us of land, you know? And the Jamaican government is acting like they don't know, but whatever. Yeah, it's a way of like trying to push people out, but we're on the most valuable land apparently, which is Cockpit country, which is where the ancestors are buried. They're buried in that land. So the essence of the town, bro, you'll feel it when you look and you see the mountain. When you look around, you see nothing but mountains for miles. You're like, oh. When I saw that, I'm like, yeah, that's me. I've always said I wanted this. And then I look at my bag. I put it on the floor. I moved it, and then I saw some weed that was crushed. I'm like, oh shit, I must have knocked over someone's weed and crushed it up. Then I look at the bottom of my foot. I'm like, oh, I dropped some weed. I said, so where did this weed come from? I'm like, so I just picked it up. I look around, I'm like, whose bud is this? So I'm like, okay, I guess somebody left the bud on the floor. So all right, whatever. I put it away from them. Let's put up the bud, right? Bro, there's weed everywhere. At least during the festival. Everybody got weed. I look around, someone's rolling up. I look around, someone's crushing, right? I look to the other side, somebody's rolling. I look to the other side, somebody's burning. I look to the other side, somebody is clipping theirs, just finished theirs. I look to the side, and I see somebody, whatchamacallit, with one on their ear, smoking one. So I'm like, bro, not everybody, but for the most part, you can turn, you see everybody got an L. Everywhere. Inside the store, inside the bar, everywhere. Probably not in the school though, but they're smoking everywhere. It's legal. It was never illegal. And Cudjoe is said to be one of the first to plant, according to former Chief Maroon, right? So Cudjoe was one of the first to plant in Jamaica. And yeah, it's kind of a sacrament. And so is I'm gonna roll up another one. And so is rum. There's stories. Angie Wise Food says the Kinder tree. Write down, right? Coolest. I appreciate you still sticking around, love. Um, hold on a second. Yeah. So, all right, where were we? Um, oh yeah. So one of the first things I bought was this. I actually was I actually was about to buy something else. I was about to buy another one, and I paid a lot for this. It was Jamaican dollars. I'm not sure what that's in American. I paid a lot. I think in American it's like I paid like almost $50 for this thing, but it's fine. It's fine. And everything here is made from something from Accompong. These are from trees that are in Accompong. Um, now my cousin, I looked at it and I'm like, yo, this just looks so powerful. This thing just looks powerful to me, right? When I saw it, because I bought something else. I bought something else, and I looked at it. I'm like, I was looking at what I bought, and I looked at this. I'm like, the energy that I feel from this thing. So I got it. So I'm like, yo, let me exchange. Let me get this one. And these are all different trees that are in a compound. Different trees. And on my way to, which I'll tell you later, on my way to Cudjo's grave, Papa's grave, I found, I actually think I have a bunch of these now. Um, yeah, I found this one. So my buddy telling me what it is, without my buddy telling me what it is, the dude I bought it from, which is also like a real distant cousin, um, he he said what you have is something powerful. And no, my cousin was the one who told me that this is, when he saw me with it, he's like, that thing you got right there, really powerful. And he told me that this, if you drop it in water, and what the fuck did he say? If you drop it in water, there's an edible nut in here. There's a nut in here that you can eat, and it's like some fucking super nutrient nut or whatever. You can eat this. You might be able to eat more of these. All right. But he said that when you drop it in water, if this floats, that water's good. If it sinks, do not drink that water. It is bad. Um, but you can boil crap. I don't know how to do it, but it's something. There's something in here that you can eat. I just don't know how to do it. No, or did he say if it floats? Fuck, I gotta ask him again. I don't remember. But I I'm not really a superstitious person because I mean, yeah, sometimes I am, but my belief is in God, and I don't really. This is not a lucky charm for me. You get me? If God wants to use it as a conduit to bless me, then sure. But I believe that all blessings come from the Most High, and I don't need a charm to do that. But I do feel that there are certain things that have inherent properties, right? And those properties can either vibe with you or vibe against you. This vibes with me tremendously, and I feel that it enhances some kind of vibe. And at the very least, it puts me in touch with my people. It is sacred to my people, right? Of course, I would totally sell these because I want my people to prosper. And I feel that the dude who makes these should be selling them, right? Sell your culture, why not? um, can make. I feel that the dude who makes this, he should like make a business. He should make like an online business, and I would be happy to like sell it abroad for him. But I fucking love this. But before I wore it, I did a libration, which is drinking a little white rum and some water and cleansing it, spitting it out, which you'll see videos of that too, right? But what is it now? Uh rolled up my L, ate, smoked, and toured the town. My brother Trick Boxing in the building. So on the tour of the town, oh yeah, so I run into them finishing up the festival, and as they're finishing up the festival, they're doing the last stretch, they're doing the rum, they're doing the dances. Um, Surprisingly, everybody there is a lot of people there adhere to the mask policy, and people social distance, except for like the marching part, but people still wore their mask. Um, my brother Joseph Townsend in the building. What's up? So we get to they get to the town square, and I join the march, and you can see in the video, I pull my stalk of weed out. Oh wait, did I find that stalk? Yeah, I found that stalk. Word, I found an arm of bud, bro. Like I had stepped on some weed, and then I found an arm of bud, and I put that shit in my shirt, and I was walking around with it. And then I ended up like giving it away because I bought one and I bought a couple, and then I just ended up with more than I could handle. So I was just giving bud away. So I joined them for the last stretch of the celebration, and then they go to the monument. And I'm not like, I don't bow down to idols. I don't do none of that. Like, I'm a Bible guy. So one God, um, what you call it? I didn't really dance around the statue or anything like that. But at that court is where later on I taught the kids some boxing. Um, but yeah, um, what you call it? After that, I toured the town, just got some food, check out the native food, um, people cooking out of Dutch pots and shit like that. Tried some delicious food, went through the town, got some drinks. I've developed a white wine. I've really developed a love for white wine, and told my cousin that. I'm like, bro, I'm developing a love for white wine. He's like, it's Maroon, man. Yeah, Maroon, man. Maroon love white wine. That's almost like a test. Yeah, Maroon, they love white wine. Oh, excuse me, not white wine, rum. Say white wine? White rum, excuse me. I said white wine. Oh my God. Rum. White rum. Or just rum in general. Apparently, like, rum is just a Maroon thing. Yeah. Um, Maroon celebrations. They love to drink rum and dance. Rum and dance. The music, phenomenal. Bro, I'm saying, mountain, you just look all around you, lush mountains, you're surrounded by lush mountains, beautiful music, everybody's smoking on something, everybody drinking something, everybody's feeling nice, bro. Hey, Joseph Townsend, they had a strip club too. They had a strip club. So I get to what was the first day? When did I go to Kinda? Did I go to Kinda? No. So the first day, oh yeah, all right. So the first day, oh, so then Chief gave a speech. So we went to the school, and went to this area, and they put up a stadium, and which you'll see in the video too. Um, the view, you can see the whole town. You could just see the freaking richness and the clouds just so close to you. Um, Um, so the chief is giving a speech, and he gave a powerful speech. And I gotta say, like, I don't think I could ever do his job. I'm a hothead, bro. I'm a hothead. To be as composed, and he presents himself very well, with the knowledge that he has, about Maroon history. Where was I at? I was at Accompong. So if you're just joining, Accompong is the Maroon town. It's named after Prince, or I guess, yeah, I think Accompong, it was a king in his own right. But Accompong was the brother of King Cudjo. King Cudjo was my ninth forefather, the son of Prince or King Nakwan, who was brought to Jamaica to be a slave, and he escaped slavery, and he had children in the mountains, and they became the Maroon leaders. The famous Maroon leader, Nanny of the Maroons, who's on the $500 bill. Her brother's King Cudjo and Accompong, and a bunch of other Maroons, and they whatchamacallit. Accompong town is basically a sovereign state, meaning it's essentially its own country separate from Jamaica, where Jamaica is technically under the rulership of Queen Elizabeth still. The prime minister is under the queen. They're still the property of the queen. But Accompong is a truly sovereign. It is the only truly free state in Jamaica, or free Jamaica, if you will. Um, but the chief also shares a direct line back to Cudjo. And there was also other powerful chiefs. If I'm not mistaken, there was like an early chief named Chief Curry. But Accompong is high up in the mountains. Um, it's a town high up in the mountains. Ganja's legal, never been illegal. Um, own government, own everything. But yeah. So I went over there. Yeah. One of the first places I went to was the graveyard, because, as I said, getting in, my aunt was telling me that she was telling me the significance of our name, and that the name pretty much goes far in this town, and most people in this town, which is why I I should probably never flirt with the women in that town. Probably related, dog. Like, real talk, probably related. um, they got fabulous genetics. The people of that town, fabulous genetics. I'm gonna show a picture of one of the Rastaman, 60-something-year-old man. Bro, he looked like he in his 30s. Stupid chiseled, you know. But it's that mountain life. Um, one of the former chiefs and an ancestor of mine, Chief Monroe, um, he, he had 59 children, bro. 59 children. And the Jamaican government unlawfully arrested him for 75 pounds of marijuana. But it was determined that you're an asshole and you can't do that because you don't run shit around here. But they just stole his weed. They let him go, but they stole his weed. Stole 75 pounds of weed, bastard. I want my weed back. I want my ancestors' weed back, asshole. Now, you know what's funny? I just realized that the chief of the Maroons and the prime minister of Jamaica are both my cousins. The the prime minister of Jamaica is Andrew Holness. Andrew Holness, I believe. So the Holness are definitely my cousins, as a fact. Every what, winter we'd go up to Boston and visit them. But they, I believe that my cousin, who is a famous musician, you should look him up, Mighty Mystic, famous reggae artist, Mighty Mystic. Look him up. It's a band actually, but he's the vocalist of the band, Mighty Mystic. Mighty Mystic. Um, so look up Mighty Mystic. That's his brother. The prime minister is his brother, is the best of my understanding. Brother or stepbrother, or no, because they share the same last name. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they're brothers. But so since he's my cousin, that's his brother. Then that makes the prime minister my cousin as well. But the chief, I don't remember. I don't remember his background like that. But I understand that he might hit one of his families a row. Obviously, his last name is not Rowe, so probably not. Definitely not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Patrilineally, but whatever. But whatever the case, I went to the graveyard. So I decided to go to the graveyard, and just to see how far this name goes. The first grave, lo and behold, a row. Second one, lo and behold, a row. Now I had done extensive research into the family trees before visiting Accompong and the graveyard. Um, and there was a few names that are related to the king, to Cudjoe. Hey, someone who has a wrench slaps Sophie Warren. So there's a few names related to Cudjoe. Number one, it's the row is a Cudjoe, Accompong, Nani, and Kofi. I know those four chiefs had the name Row, starting with Nani, Matilda Row, but um, Nani, let me see. There's a few names. There are names that are offshoot of that particular name, and it's Collie Foster, Collie Foster. No, I know this one. Collie, right. Collie Foster, right. Either way, either way, they're like offshoot families. So you gotta check names. Trick Boxing says, "Your boy need his wrench." Oh, you ain't got a wrench? Hold on a second. Hold on. This injustice. Hold up. Let me wrench you up. Shh, 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 shh. Check, check, check. Hey, check if you got your wrench. You should be good now. Yeah, I gotta roll me something. We gonna roll up something. Smoke something. Roll something. Smoke something. Yeah. So I'm getting to the best part. So I go to the graveyard, and everyone there's got my freaking last name. If not, they got the offshoot names. They have the names that are associated with it. Bunch of names. Um, so valid. We're telling the truth, right? Now I get to. So I tour the graveyard a little bit, and do a little drink for the fam. Do a little smoke, and what else did I do that day? I ate. I went around. I just met different family members. I smoked. I was intending to leave, but I'm like, nah, this is bullshit. I want to stay the whole night. I was gonna go home that day. I'm like, nah, I want to sleep here. And yeah, that's what happened. Okay, all right, so that's what happened. Um, yeah, I went to the speech, right? So the chief is giving a speech, um, and after the speech, we're chilling out, eating, smoke. I recover. Um, and I was thinking of getting out of there. I'm like, nah, the party's going on all night. It's going on till like 4. It's supposed to go on to like the next day almost, right? And I decided, no, fuck it, I'm gonna stay. And I went to go take a piss. I went to the museum, used the bathroom in the museum, and I come back, and I hear some clapping, clap, 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 and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm thinking, well, actually, I'm thinking it's clappers because I bought some clappers earlier. Little kids were playing with clappers. Um, so I'm thinking it's kids playing with clappers, but I see people running, and I'm like, are you running from clappers? And I'm like, yeah, oh, that's a gun. So I get behind the fucking truck, and someone else like gets behind the truck. We get behind the truck, and whatchamacallit? Yeah, I was going back to this, but yeah, because I dropped my So I was with a group of friends, and I was going back. Yeah, I was going back, and I had asked them to watch my freaking bottle of Ray and Nephew, which I got another bottle of Ray and Nephew. I just don't want to turn into an alcoholic, so I'm not gonna touch it. But yeah, I think I might have why I was sick. I might have drank too much. Um, yeah. So I was going back for my bottle of Ray and Nephew, and that's when I saw people running the other way. And apparently, this is a first in 284 years of celebration. No one has ever gotten shot at this event. So apparently, what had happened was, first and foremost, the Jamaican government didn't want the Maroons to celebrate this event because of the lockdown, right? Now, I think that that's some pussy. It sounds like a bumper ass pussy on my cause, brethren, hear me, hear me clearly. And this is why I could never do what the chief does. I don't have the fucking patience for this bullshit. Jamaica. There's a place in Jamaica called Tivoli Gardens, right? Tivoli Gardens is, if you guys have ever seen that movie, The Raid, which is the martial arts movie where the cops like go into this forbidden city where the city is like run by the drug dealers and whatnot, and cops can't even go in there because it's a war zone in there. That's Tivoli Gardens. Since I was a kid, I left Jamaica fucking 20 years ago, dog. Tivoli Gardens ain't fucking changed. If anything, bro, the later on in the story, I end up at Tivoli Gardens. I ended up in Tivoli Gardens, and I felt like God was taking me there because I missed my flight and I ended up in Tivoli Gardens, which is the other side of the friggin' island. So, how the fuck I woke up in Tivoli Gardens is a funny story. Thanks, Richie. Not the chief, someone else. My cousin. My other cousin. But it was a treat. I'm glad I'm not dead. It's my fucking fault for not sticking with the crew, right? Fire not nearly get fucking put in a body bag. Oh man. So Tivoli Gardens. The reason I bring up Tivoli, right? The reason I bring up Tivoli is because Jamaica has a curfew, right? Lockdown. You can get in trouble. The cops are out there with machine guns, bro. I know this because I seen them. But you know what? The cops will never go to Tivoli Gardens and tell them they can't have a party. I know they can't tell them shit because I saw the party at Tivoli Gardens. Yeah. Because, as I was told, because you can't get lost around here because you won't come back. Because you'll die over here. Because the cops do not come over here. In fact, I saw a cop who said, yeah, I just got off suspension for clapping a dude. I'm not going to Tivoli Gardens. Good luck, motherfucker. Be safe out there. Bust off his gun and told us, have fun. And I'm like, bro, where the fuck are we going? To a party in Tivoli. Point being, Tivoli Gardens is a place where the cops dare not venture, right? And Tivoli Gardens ain't doing no fucking lockdown if they don't want to do no lockdown. Right? So Prime Minister of Jamaica, with all due respect, how can you dare come to the Maroons to tell them they can't hold the 284th festival of our victory, our celebration of freedom, because we have to adhere to Jamaica's lockdown when you can't even control Tivoli fucking Gardens because the gunman are shot will bust up your bomber clot. How? How? So the Jamaican government didn't want the Maroons. They put out a warning. Oh, they actually kind of killed the festival because the festival would have had more people. But because of COVID warning, which by the way, COVID doesn't exist in Accompong. Because they're closed to the outside. They're a mountain community. It never made it up there. And people stay clear. And actually people really obey the guidelines. It's in America that motherfuckers don't want to wear their mask, or they wear their mask half-assed. They really follow the guidelines down there. And everywhere you go, there's someone to spray your hands down. There's someone to spray your hands down. You can't enter anywhere without your mask or spraying or getting something sprayed on you. Although there's like certain places where people are smoking. So yeah, but whatever. For the most part, I'd say that their standard of hygiene is, for mountain people, it's a lot better than what I've seen in the city. Whatever the case. Yeah. So they wanted to shut down the party. So the mood gets shut down when the party was just about to pick up. It gets shut down because someone gets shot. And unfortunately, a child got shot. Now, Jamaican media is fucking lying about what happened. You weren't there, I was. Apparently a Maroon and a police officer had an altercation, right? Um, I didn't see it happen, but what people were saying who were right there, because I had just walked away from the event, was that one dude there was a beef between the police officer and the Maroon, and I guess the Maroon clapped him over the head, clapped him over the head with a bottle. I don't know if it was a glass bottle or a plastic bottle, but the dude felt the need to pull out his gun and kill him. So he pulled out his gun. The Jamaican police officer pulled out his gun and shot him in the chest a couple times and in the belly. More than once. Shot him a bunch of times. Then he kept on shooting. And he kept on shooting. One dude got hit in his leg. Another a young man got hit in his leg, and a young boy who I was boxing with. Yeah, that's what I was doing before. I was boxing with the kids. I brought out my boxing gloves. I brought out the stuff I brought to train with, and we trained in front of the monument. Before the monument to Cudgel. We boxed there. I boxed with the little ones. They chased me around. They beat me up. Yeah, it was fun. But one of the young homies I was training got shot in his belly. Like it hit him in his side. They said it hit his spine. Yeah. I'm gonna do a separate video later on just to go over the details of that, because I want to start like a GoFundMe or something for the young man, because I don't know how serious it is, but it might affect his ability to walk, you know. So the Jamaican Gleaner decides to like lie about the event and exaggerate. They're like, oh, 8 people got shot, 4 people are dead. The Maroons held a festival and a Maroon shot somebody. No, it was a Jamaican police officer. Now, they say that the dude has Maroon blood, or quote unquote, he is a Maroon. They're trying to say that it's Maroon on Maroon violence. But here's the thing. The gentleman who did the shooting is part of the Jamaican Police Department. He got his gun from the Jamaican Police Department. He got his authority to shoot the gun from the Jamaican Police Department. He got his training how to shoot the gun from the Jamaican Police Department. He got the mentality of how to use a gun. See, Jamaican police officers, bruh, twice in the same car, I had cops wave machine guns at me for no fucking reason. One of them was just bragging about catching a body and just getting off suspension after bucketing shots in the air. Dudes is wild with their piece. Dude, the fucking police don't have little handguns. They got machine guns down there, dog. Yeah, the cops aren't walking around with little handguns. They show up with a strap on the shoulder, waving it around like, hey, fuck you. Like, so Jamaican police officers have this, it's no disrespect. It's like that whole, the bigger the gun thing. It's like, bro, you can't disrespect in the slight. You can't even twitch wrong, bro. They ready to ice you. Because it's the authority, it's like the power is too much for them and they go crazy with it. I've noticed that with Jamaican police officers, and that stems from your training. That's a reflection of the head, the authority, the pen that gives them the authority to use the gun. You get me? It's a reflection of that. So whatever DNA the man has is irrelevant. His DNA didn't pull the fucking trigger. His training. He could not pull it without his training. He could not pull it without what? It being given to him by you. So it was said that when the man became a police officer, he came around Accompong waving his gun around like it was a toy. He was like he wanted people to suck his dick, like he was that nigga. Like, I got a gun, you better suck my dick. That's how he was behaving. You get me? So there's a need to vet who you give these people authority to. Now, there's some people saying that it might have been a setup, that they were really just trying to put a black eye on the situation. And this, like I said, it's never happened before. It's never happened. And no one obeys COVID restrictions like them. And how are you going to tell us that the Maroons can't have a celebration but the same fucking night in Tivoli Gardens in Jamaica, which is under your jurisdiction? You have no jurisdiction. You literally lost a fucking war against us. Your queen lost a war against the Maroons. Therefore, you have to fuck off. You can't tell them what to do. That is why it went on. But the shooting happened, and then it killed the vibe, and then the chief fucking stressed the chief out because now he has to go do damage control instead of uplifting the people and celebrating our freedom. Then these motherfuckers come out with false stories. You get me? False stories. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna do another one and do a GoFundMe for the kid. Anything you guys want to donate goes real far. Not for me. I'll send it to the chief. And see to that family gets it. As I don't know what their situation is, but I'm sure medical bills. Man, anything you do, anything you want to send would definitely go far down there. Because the exchange rate's pretty nice, right? So y'all can hit me up in the Cash App if you'd like to, right? Now, like I said, I'm gonna put out a separate video for that so we can go over those details and really clean up a lot of the bullshit that's being put out there, because they're trying to make it seem like it's really a Maroon thing. But yeah, that brought the vibe down a little bit, and I guess some people went home early, but otherwise it was pretty nice. I ended up being up there for too long, and I hung around, explored different bars, and then my aunt was like, "Yeah, we can't come get you. It's fucking late. We're not doing that. Can't get you a ride." so you're gonna have to stay at Accompong. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not mad at that. Yeah, I'm staying here. I'm all right with that. So I was gonna look around because I think they might have some places like a little villa, but it may have been fully. But she was like, "Nah, you're gonna stay with your uncle. You're gonna stay with your uncle, who's also a row." It's like, bro, you're in a town full of family. You can find a place to stay. So I go stay at Unc's place. But Unc's like, we're not calling it a night just yet. We're gonna go chill for a little bit. And we go over to this place called the Maroon Bar, no, the Maroon Restaurant. Nice little restaurant. Oh yeah, man. Then I got some fucking. Oh man, I got some. Brah, I got some. Uh, bro, I got some jerk chicken. I got some real Maroon jerk chicken. The fuck what you're talking about? Fuck what you're talking about. You haven't. Oh my god, my heart. Woo! Ooh, you haven't had real jerk chicken until you've had jerk chicken in the mountains of Accompong. Or at least my pop's jerk chicken. And you know what? The way that they make jerk chicken and the way my pops makes jerk chicken and the sauce, I think the sauce my pops makes is better. But it's because he's a friggin' maroon. That makes sense. Yeah, my dad. I always said my dad made the best jerk chicken because then I found out. Oh yeah, you're maroon, and then Maroons invented jerk. It's a maroon tradition, right? And it eventually became a Jamaican custom, but it's originally a native maroon tradition. It was a way of like preserving the food without a fridge, the meat without a fridge or something like that. So eating that with festival. Say I love festival. Um, I had ackee and saltfish on festival. That's the best breakfast, ackee and saltfish on festival, and then at night have jerk chicken with festival. I'm planted festival. I'm planted. So one festival I'm planted, man. One festival I'm planted, man. Rise. Wait. Um. Wait. I missed the whole chat. Yeah, they shooting, man. They shot. They were shooting, bruh. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I don't know why my chat wasn't showing. Yeah, so I hope the young cat's okay. Like, bro, that messed me up because you should probably hang that fool because you couldn't just shoot the man once. And the dude that got shot in the chest, he died. The dude that got shot in the leg, I saw them carrying him out. Like I'm pretty sure he made it. He got shot like in his ankle or something. He should be all right. The kid, he should be all right too. But man, that to see his mom lift him up and bro, that oh, puss the wall, man, for dead. Yeah, because man, fuck that guy, hang that motherfucker. But yeah, fish on festival, fish and festival, such a banging meal, man. So my favorite. Well, fish on festival is great, but I had jerk chicken on festival. Um, so my uncle just chilled at a restaurant. Apparently, under the restaurant's a strip club. So we went down, like I went looking for him because I had lost track of him, and I went downstairs, and I just see naked bitches or semi, and I'm like, okay, I didn't know this was here. But it turns out they weren't even maroons; they were tourists. They were tourists, and they came down to the bar, and they saw a pole, and they were like, "Fuck it, I'm getting naked." Because I saw them later. I'm like, weren't you the one with the thing in the what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, like you're American. It's like, yeah. I'm like, so so you just came here and just started. It's like, yeah. Like, okay, whatever. Hey, whatever floats your boat. Um. So yeah, Went back to Unc's place. Smoked a lot of weed, man. So one of the dreads, they definitely overcharged me for the bud, but it was all right. I ain't mad at you. I'll pay the tourist price. Aside. So yeah, man, I just had way more weed than I can handle. Some of my I left my bag in the museum, so I ended up having to wait the next day for the museum to open up to get my bag out. But I slept in my uncle's place. So that video I uploaded where I'm like talking all scratchy and shit as I just woke up. I'm rolling an L. Yeah, that was the next day. So now the next day, this is where the fun starts, right? I go over, um, I get my stuff, and I go over to Kinda. No, I go on the hunt for Kinda. I get lost a bunch of times. End up running into some cows that weren't feeling me. Like I was just trying to check out some paths, and I saw a cow, and the cow was like, "Yo, bitch, nigga, you ain't coming through this path, motherfucker. It's my area, motherfucker." But the cow was chained up, and I thought I was gonna walk around. So I'm like, "All right, let me take another route." Um, Even though the cow was chained up, he was still like in the beaten path. I'm like, let me go into the cockpit and fucking come up and go around. And I'm like in the gully, in the fucking I see another cow in the bushes hiding out. And I don't think that one was tied up, but he's watching me. He's like, look at this nigga walking around my shit. This nigga think he just gonna walk around my shit. I saw him plotting like, all right, when this motherfucker get here, I'ma stomp him. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going back up this hill. Fuck you. Right? So I get back up the hill and whatchamacallit. Um I go back. I just like taking the view and stuff. Then I go back and I'm looking for the kinder tree. I get my alcohol. I make sure. No, I go back to town. So I get some food. I go back to town. I buy some alcohol for my journey, and I buy some more weed. Right. So I fucking saddle up, get my camo on. So just got my beads. I'm looking all good and shit. I go there. I walk over to Kinda, and I finally find it. It took me a while to find it. Yeah, there was this um uh, it was a dog that was following me to Kinda. When I made it to Kinda, I did a quick ritual. I did the quick libration with the alcohol to cleanse the path and walk over there. Now I'm gonna tell y'all some interesting stories. Right? I told you the best is yet to come. So I get over there. I see that they did a slaughter over there. Most like they killed a chicken over there or something. Um, but when I came over, I saw the monuments, the monument to a statue of Cudjoe, and a bang with 1738 written on it, and a sacrifice over there. I just blew some wine, some rum, spit some rum, and cleansed the area. And then I got over to the kinda tree, and I put my bag down, and I pulled out my boxing gloves, and I started roaring like a fucking lion, and boxing, bitch. Yes, sir. Yes, I pulled out my boxing gloves and started boxing under the tree, where I got to box under the tree where my ancestors plotted to fuck up the white man. Yes, sir. With success, mind you. But then again, there were black people in there too. So all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Not everyone's real, bruh. But yeah, with that in mind, give me 1 second. Who else we got up in here? Geez, I was muted. Check, check, check. Oh yeah, so yeah, let me repeat that. So on my way to Kinda, I rolled up two L's, right? And hold on. I rolled up two L's on my way to Kinda, and I started smoking one. And then when I rolled up two fat fuckers too. And then when I got to Kinda, I fucking flamed the fresh one, right? And then did a quick libration, drink some white rum for myself and for the ancestors. And I never got drunk. I never drank to the point of getting drunk, but I was dripping on it all day. Um, so I was on a different vibe, man. Just soaking in the fucking perfect mountain view. So I went exploring, but some places you can't go to because they're probably like graveyards. You have to look at the trees around them because certain graveyards they have where they won't have traditional like gravestones. They'll just have a certain plant will grow over there, and if a plant is growing there, you don't go there. That's a graveyard. That's a grave. Um, I wanted to look for artifacts and shit, but yeah. But at Kinda, it was when you see the video, it looks kind of messy because the party was there. Like you see fucking beer bottles everywhere and shit. But apparently the ancestors love to drink. Um, so I went over to a couple places, saw some tourists. They were nice enough to help clean up and stuff. Um, and then where did I go? I went back into town, and on my way back into the town, I run into Mr. Anderson, who turns out to be a cousin. As I'm talking to him, and I asked him his last name. He's Anderson. He's like, I'm a Rowe. He's like, okay. He's like, oh, the Rose are my family too. Like, you're my cousin. Like, my cousins are Rose. And he told me who his cousin was. I'm like, that's my cousin. So I'm like, you're my cousin, bro. So, I was on my way. I was looking for Cudjoe's grave, and he was like, yo, I'll take you there. It's like, I'll show you around. So me and him are talking, and he takes me down to the grave, and this is the main spot that I wanted to come for. And we walk down to on the way to the graveyard to his stone, which is where his body's actually buried. It's a place called Old Town, and I uploaded the video for that one. You guys can go see that. Old Town is you have to go through. You have to go down a hill. It's a real steep hill, and you go through a marijuana farm. You go through a marijuana farm. You go through the steep hill, and then you go through like a clearing with a bunch of like really old trees. Like my cousin told me that he used to climb that tree when he was a kid. The tree was older than him, and the tree's still there. He's like, I'm 30 ad now. But on my way there, I found a bunch of these. I found the tree where this came off of, and apparently you can eat this. Right? So I found a couple of them and I took them back. They're shaped like hearts. But that's actually how they are. They grow on the trees and they fall off like that. Seriously. I'm gonna show you the rest later. Because I thought it was just like a piece of like stone and they just carved it into that shape. Nope. That's how they grow. They grow just like that. So we get over to the grave. And there are two goats like blocking the way. And the goats move. They move for me because we get over there. My cousin shows me the gravestone, and we sit on it. And he goes over and gets like a bunch of hay, and he lights it on fire. He lights the hay on fire, and he says, "That's a way that you let them know that you're there. You light this specific type of hay, and the smoke allows the ancestors to know that you're there. And you take a swig of white rum, and you mix it with water, so the spirits don't get drunk, and you sprinkle it all over. It's known as a libration. Um, but yeah, so we left him a bottle, like pour some rum on his tombstone, and we did a libration, and then we smoked the L and just talked about life. Then I just roared a couple times, just yelled at the top of my lungs and heard it echo through the mountains. And then boxed a little bit, boxed in front of his grave, because I'm of that same spirit. They called him the mountain lion. When I fight, I am the iron lion, right? So iron lion. Pay my respects. Then I left some weed on his grave. If anyone else goes over there to visit, they'll see it. They can smoke it with him. So, yeah, man. And then I went back up. I was supposed to meet a reporter to tell her about some Maroon history because she wanted to study. She was supposed to talk to some people. I'm like, yo, definitely talk to me because I've read every single fucking book out there. Plus the stories that were passed on to me. And I believe that I can give her a good account of the history. And so we did. But before that, so we walked back up the mountain, and coming back up the mountain, bro, my legs were brutalized. My legs were done, and I'm strong. And I look at my cousin, not a bead of sweat, not huffing, not puffing. I'm like, what? I'm like, I need to train here. When I have a fight coming, I'm coming here and I'm training. So I would set up a course and make the trip to the graveyard, to the grave, a part of my training. So I came back up. Came back up through the marijuana garden, and we came back up to the marijuana garden, and he went his way, went my way, and then I think I like went to run a couple errands or something. But I had to charge my phone. My phone was dead, so I charged my phone. Went back to town. Went back to town, lugging my freaking suitcase around, and basically refreshed. Got some to drink, got something to eat, refresh myself, stretch out a bit, and then went back to the top of the freaking mountain, up to Kinda, this time without my book bag, and then down to Old Town to Cudjoe's grave. And when I got down to Old Town, this time my phone was charged, so I got to record my way there. I got to show you guys. My phone was actually full, so I had to live stream it. But I show you guys how I got down to Cudjoe's grave. And I smoked another L with him. And the picture from the live stream that you see, that's, hold on. Which one is it? Which picture? Yeah, this one. One second. Yeah, that one. So that picture. Much blessings, Angie. I'm about to wrap this one up. Enjoy the rest of your night. Appreciate you coming through and listening to me talk. But I gotta go train a client in a sec. like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So yeah, as you can see, camo, maroon tradition, got my beads, and this is after lighting my fire. Right. So I smoked another one with the general, drink a little bit on the grave, and then go back, go back before it got late, and just got another workout on that hill. Right. So I found an old building that I wanted to turn into the gym, and I didn't want to leave Accompong until I met with the chief, because that was the purpose of my visit. And I'd seen him driving around the town a couple times, but he would see me and he would pull over, just give me a dab. It's like, listen, I got some shit to do. I'm like, bro, you wouldn't be the chief if you had time to just meet with a random guy to talk about punching and kicking shit. You got a people to run. So I didn't bother him, just let him do his thing. And then at the end of the night, my other aunt, walked me over to go meet him officially. So I go meet the chief, and definitely I could tell that he had a long day and that the whole shooting thing was um, certainly certainly took a lot, you know. Um, so I'm like, hey, put these freaking boxing gloves on, and let me get the mitts right there. So just boxing, like, let's work off the stress of the day, and we'll chat later, because the things that I want to do for Accompong are just dreams right now. You've got a nation to run. All right, so I'll come back next time. Yeah, yeah. So next time, I told him that I gave him the stuff, the punching bags, and the boxing gloves. Of course, I got to order some more. The ones that I ordered never came. So if you guys really want to support that, all donations are going to be going towards building that boxing gym in the mountains. We've got the spot; it just needs to be cleaned out. Uh, I'll actually go when I go back to a compound next. I'm going to go there and just build it myself. Um, so it's what you call it. I just gotta clean out the facility, and just hammer the bags into the place, right? But the outside is like beautifully decorated. It's the perfect place. I'm gonna call it the Asafo House, right? Yeah, man. And I'm gonna do my training camps out of there for what I'm fighting. But yeah, was that the end that I left? Yeah. When did I leave? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Case of boys salute. Yeah, that's pretty much the trip. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So then after, yeah, I left. I left to come home, went back to my aunt's house in the plains, and then got ready to the next day. I was supposed to fly out, but they required some freaking test to be done at a certain time, and I couldn't get the test done. So I ended up getting stuck in Jamaica for another day. And it's not a bad thing. And I ended up meeting one of my cousins, another row. And apparently there's a lot of us, because Man Row did a lot of fucking. So did the other ones. Got like 59 children and shit. So they're like littered all over that side of Jamaica. But I met my cousin, cool ass dude. Dude pulls up, van smells like weed. I'm like, oh yeah, that's my family, definitely. And he steps out and he's got a fucking fat fucking piece on his side. A gun. I'm like, bruh, what are we getting into tonight? It's like, yeah, I'm working security for this rapper. Um, and we're going to some dangerous places, bruh. So you better hang tight and stay close to me. And I didn't. And I didn't. Somehow we got from one side of Jamaica to the other in just a few hours. But then again, it was a curve, so I was no one on the road. Um, but we got from one side of the island to the other, literally. And ended up in friggin' Tivoli. I wake up and we're in the fucking hood, where I was told, dude, you will die here. If anybody says, if some bitch throws it at you, she's setting you up to get you killed. Do not talk to nobody, Doc. If your accent, don't let that shit out, right? But yeah, made it out there safely. Nice party, but I stayed away from everybody. And made it back. Hopped on a flight later that day because I didn't sleep, and yeah, came back home. But yo, looking forward. We got plenty of stuff to do. We'll talk about that another time. I gotta go take care of a session. Hey, yo, smash that like button. It's your boy, the Iron. It's your champion. It's your champion, the Iron Lion. Also known as Healer. Appreciate y'all coming through and listening to me talk. I got plenty to come. Much more to come. Stick around, smash that like button, subscribe. And if you would like to support the building of the Asafo House, my training camp in Jamaica, then yeah, hit me up at the Cash App folks ball. Or if you just want to donate for the little homie that got shot, yeah, you can also hit me up in the Cash App. Put a note on it saying that it's for that, either for the gym or for the young homie. Actually, as a matter of fact, everything right now. So, young homie. Yeah, we'll do everything for the young homie right now. But yo, smash that like button. Until next time. Peace.